as we're just getting started.
It's Danu on Fire right here on High TV. Welcome to your luxury channel. With me, I have Karan, and he is the man who made hoppers so sexy in London. If you have not checked out him or come to know about him, you can always Google search. You'll quickly get his restaurant. So welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you. No, thank you for having me, Anishma.
So let's give a brief about you. So
sure.
Why Sri Lankan food?
Why food in the first place?
Oh yeah, okay. Why food in the first place?
Well, I grew up in Bombay.
Okay.
So I'm not claiming to be Sri Lankan. Unfortunately, people walk into the restaurant and expect a Sri Lankan there.
Yeah.
But we're not Sri Lankan.
But anyone can be inspired by food, yeah, of
Absolutely.
course.
So I grew up in Mumbai, studied law over there, then went across to the UK about 15 years ago, did a second degree in law at Cambridge, and then worked in the city for a long time. But I think through that whole time, I must have done about 10 stints at different hotels and restaurants in Bombay, in London, because somewhere inside, I always wanted to be in food.
You were a budding chef.
I wouldn't call myself a chef. I love cooking.
Right.
I'm behind the restaurants. I get into the kitchen whenever I can. I hassle my chefs. But a chef is someone who's there every day, single day on the pass.
Okay.
I don't
You
do
have a
that.
vision.
I do the creative side with them. But then I do a lot more as well.
Right.
So I mean, that was the angle, like you say, that's the angle that got me in. The food got me into the restaurant space.
Right.
But then very early on realized that, when you want to be a chef, you start at 14.
Right.
I made the career change in my late 20s.
Yeah.
And then while I was studying law, and incidentally, while I was at this place called Good Enough College in London, I met Aritha, who's a friend of yours, who's been on a show with you, and Rishidi.
Right.
They both stayed with me. Today, they're my closest friends. They're like family here.
Right.
And then through them, as one does, you end up meeting all of Colombo.
Right.
Slowly. So every time I come here, I meet 5 more people. But the amazing thing about the people here is that they all feel like family.
So throughout your time in London, you have been flying on
I
and
keep
off.
flying in. So
All
every
right.
time I get an excuse, I come and fly in. I proposed to my now wife at Mount Lavinia Hotel.
Oh wow, okay.
5 years ago. And it's a very, very special country. The people are extremely special.
So you
And I
just
think
have
it
your
was
roots kind of sort of built in here then?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends call me an honorary Sri Lankan. I'd love to be one day. But I love India as well.
Okay.
And I think what we're doing is picking out the best of the cultures.
Right.
There are certain things about this island that are just phenomenal.
Why hoppers? Why did it land with only hoppers?
So my brother-in-law, my wife's middle brother,
Okay.
he started a group of restaurants about 10 years ago.
Right.
We've got a big group there.
Right.
I then joined them after I got married. I was working in India, then I came across and we said, look, if we're both, we're all into food and they're doing so well, it doesn't make sense working with someone else and being the competition. So I joined them, and that time he had an idea where he wanted to do something South Indian Sri Lankan. I've always wanted to do something here. I'd recently flown back from Sri Lanka.
Right.
And then we got brainstorming actually at my wedding.
Okay.
And then from there, this concept developed. It's a very different restaurant to the others in the group because it was the first very casual, really relaxed, 40-seater restaurant.
Right.
Often people come in and they sort of complain about, we can't get a table here for 3 hours.
So this has been, because I was speaking to his chefs the other day when I got a chance to meet them, and they were like, we just try and keep it sleek. It has to be in, out, they've enjoyed their food and they go back. And we're talking about hoppers being the star of the brand here.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to him about milk hoppers because it's actually something that roots back to the Jaffna origins of hoppers.
Yeah.
And we in Jaffna have milk hoppers with like fish curry and we have it with spice curries. We don't have it as a dessert. But for y'all, it became like a dessert item in your restaurant.
I'll be honest with you, I was at Nugagama last night and I
Okay.
had 5 milk hoppers, which really broke the last
The difference between the milk hoppers in Colombo and the milk hoppers you'll get down south to what in down south you get the jaggery hoppers, the brown
No,
color.
this one was the Jaffna style, which was delicious.
Yeah, so the milk hoppers in Jaffna are super sweet, which you don't get it here.
Yeah.
It's really sweet. It's
And you eat those with curries?
Oh yeah.
With spicy curries?
Oh, it's so
Really?
tasty. It's
Okay.
it's like that sweet and spice combo. So how did you master the hopper?
Well, ironically, before I was even thinking about this, I spent a lot of time in Kerala,
Okay.
which has the appam,
Right.
but obviously very, very different.
Yeah.
In
in Tamil we call it appam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the appam in Kerala is slightly different. It's a lot flatter
Okay.
and tends to be a little softer as well.
Right.
But it's delicious. And then I came here and saw the variants,
Yeah.
which was so exciting. Then you go to some restaurants and you get the brown rice hoppers,
Yes,
like you
the
said, the
white
jaggery. Then there's all that cheese and
Yeah.
all the slightly
And all the
gimmicky
modern
stuff,
ones, yeah.
Exactly. But I think I like to keep it traditional. So we spent a lot of time with different people. Some put toddy in it, some put bread. Yesterday someone told me about Mari biscuit.
Yes.
You know,
There's so much.
we tend to do a slightly different one. So we don't use rice flour. We get a couple of kinds of rice. We actually soak it overnight.
Right.
We've got these massive stone grinders, and then we chuck that in there. We use a little bit of yeast, and then lots of coconut milk.
Right.
And I think that coconut milk
Just keeps it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to get this man in the kitchen because I'm just trying to see what's going to be coming out, because it has a little bit of India, it has a little bit of Sri Lanka. It's all put together to bring out the best of all sides of the world.
I think it's this is like cooking at home.
Brilliant.
So you're coming for a meal at home. Unfortunately, no hoppers today.
Yeah, no hoppers.
For that reason, because I don't want it collapsing on TV.
Yeah. So we are going to see what's going to be coming your way. We'll see you after the break right here on Danu on Fire.
You've got to touch it. Come on. Well, I'll give you a...
Welcome back to the show. It's Danu on Fire with Karan, the greatest man, who's loving Sri Lanka. All right, so we're cooking out a few things here. So tell me what's on the menu today.
So we got a few things that we were doing while, I started off while we were chatting.
Okay.
And then Regina was helping me finish off. We've got a crab curry.
Right.
So we've eaten about 9 crab curries this trip.
Wow.
And basically
I
want
hope
to
you're
round it
drinking
off
enough water.
with something that we do back home.
I hope you're drinking enough water.
Enough water.
Yeah, because it's
But
a
I'm
heaty
waking
food.
up in the middle of the night sweating.
Yeah, it's a heaty food. That's why.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
that's why I believe that's why you put the moringa on top.
Yes, that's to
Now
calm things
sometimes
down.
we cook it. We used to cook it all this while, but here I saw that there's so much fresh, beautiful, soft moringa available.
Yeah.
So I said, why not?
Yeah, the
just
tip
use it
of the
as a
moringa
fresh
is, yeah.
garnish. So we've got a crab here. I've used the sea crab, the nice blue ones. We've got mukunavena, which is something I tried for the first time here.
Okay.
And loved. We've
Okay.
had a lot of gotu kola, but this was just, it was delicious. So
Okay.
again, got a local recipe, and we've done a melon.
Karavila.
We've got caravella,
Yeah.
which is something
like a
we eat
sambola.
a lot. We eat a lot back home.
Yeah. I just have it fried just like chips.
Exactly.
It's really nice.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
But what I found is really interesting is normally it's very bitter.
Yeah.
Now the culture I grew up in, the Gujaratis, we actually have it quite sweet.
Oh, okay. How
So
is that?
I've even put some sugar in
Ah,
there.
okay,
You're going to
done.
try it a little
Okay.
later. So I've used your traditional recipe. Actually,
Just-
Regina made that.
Right.
And all I did was
Regina
add
is
sugar.
there.
Regina's in there.
Yeah, right.
And then we've got some wing bean
Okay.
with peanuts.
Oh, with peanuts.
We've got some crushed peanuts in there, roasted and crushed peanuts,
Oh,
a little bit of
okay.
curry leaves. So just like a nice fresh salad.
Superb. I've actually
some
not
Eastern
tried that. So let's go.
influences.
Let's try it. So
And now here we've got, so I've done a little, so I'm doing a prawn curry.
Right.
So we call it a moili back home.
okay.
A little bit like a kiri hodi, but a little more spiced,
thicker.
and I add a little more to it as well.
Right. And he has actually taken my request and made everything thicker.
Everything much thicker.
All right.
Also because, we've taken so long to get started, so it is getting thicker, so it's perfect. It works perfectly. So we've got prawns here, just
Okay.
butterflied. I leave them in a little bit of turmeric
Right.
and salt. So I'm going to put those in. I hate overcooking
Right.
seafood, and I find sometimes we just,
We
end up
kill
doing
it
it
and
so
re-kill
much.
it and kill it and kill it.
So we've made the sauce with the prawn heads.
Oh, okay.
That's
To
where
give
the flavor comes
is-
from.
Of course.
So it's almost like a stock.
Yeah.
We've made that with the prawn heads. Onion, shallots, little bit of fenugreek seeds.
So that's
Yeah.
the prawn and
So I've got the prawn. Now, hang on, you're only talking. I need
Yeah.
to get you working. So I've got some fish here. We've used sprats, local
Right.
sprats we got from Kolpeti market yesterday.
okay.
A little bit of curry powder, a little bit of chili, turmeric.
And you let it
just let it marinate. It gets nice flavor. I don't like overcooking it in sauces. So this
Right.
is where the flavor comes from.
right.
Here I've got a little dusting.
Okay.
So
I have to put it
semolina,
in
rice flour, corn flour. You need to dust it nicely.
Okay.
Leave it in there, and then you're going to be frying it. All
Right.
the best. See you. Good night.
What? I've never ever touched raw fish. Let's try it with a spoon.
You've got to touch it. Come on. I'll give you a. Let's give him a box of tissues.
See, now it looks nice.
Yeah, but you're not going to get that dusting off. That's it. Perfect. There
The
we go.
way I'm doing it, it'll take. I think I just.
Okay, you can do 2, and then I'll come jump in.
Okay, all right.
Because I do want to eat lunch at lunchtime.
No, actually, I'll use my hand. I think it's quicker. I can put everything in it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, dump it on and then just take it out. There you go.
Oh gosh. See, this is why I don't like cooking, because I hate to touch them when they're like all iffy and finicky. All right. So, normal day at home, do you cook?
Normal day at home, I get home it could be, there's nothing like a normal day when you're in this industry. So
That's true.
I could get home at 2 in the morning, I could get home at 5 in the evening, and I try and cook, to answer your question, I try and cook every single time I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's my de-stress. So we
Is
engineer
your-
on a Sunday, on a Saturday night I'll get home.
Your wife is a good cook?
My wife, I believe, is a good cook, but she's never cooked ever
Oh,
since
right,
we've been married. For good reason.
Oh, okay.
I'm extremely dominating in the kitchen. So,
Oh, wow, okay. Are you very possessive about your recipes?
not really.
Not
I
really.
think, we take so much from people.
Yeah,
So, you keep developing, you keep changing. We've learned so much on this trip.
yeah.
So you're not using this, good. We've learned so much.
I know.
We are going to, go back and tweak a few things.
Okay. So
and with today's day and age, with the internet and the number
yeah, I
of
know.
books you have,
And
you
everything
can get
is-
recipes everywhere.
yeah, and everything is so available.
Okay, I'm going to start frying these.
Oh, okay.
Keep going. Great job.
I know my grand.
Do you want to fry them?
No, I'm fine. Frying, I'm not insured. Oil could splash. All right. I can't do two things at the same time. I have to ask you questions as well. Okay, so tell me, how does your normal day start, like in London when you run the restaurant?
Yeah,
And you have won multiple awards for your restaurant.
we've been lucky.
Yeah, so tell me about it.
So we've got two restaurants.
Okay.
One in Soho, one at St. Christopher's Place. I tend to spend, it's like two children, you tend to spend equal time with both.
All right.
So some days I'll start in Soho and I'll, end up, I could be doing front of house and doing a shift on the floor.
Right.
That's the only way you get on the ground. You meet your regular guests.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know whether your staff is performing or not.
Yeah.
And and they see you working. It's always fun.
Yeah.
You shouldn't forget why you got into the industry in the first place.
Has Gordon Ramsay ever visited your restaurant?
Gordon hasn't, but we've had a lot of other industry figures who've been in.
Okay.
Again, remember it's no reservations, so
Yeah.
people
so
don't
it's-
always want to come and wait.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
it. So we've got the second one, which is reservations.
Okay.
We realized we missed a trick on the first one. Bigger groups wanted to come and dine with us.
Yeah, and also for a longer time, like birthdays and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got a lovely second restaurant.
Okay.
Each one is inspired by different elements of Sri Lanka. First one was a toddy shop.
Right.
So it's quite colorful, rustic. You've got blues, you've got wood,
Okay.
you've got ochre, all communal tables.
So
you'll
do you
be
have a
sharing
lot of
tables
Sri
and stuff.
Lankans coming to dine?
Tons,
And
tons.
what do they say when they see you? They're like,
Oh.
"Are you Sri Lankan?"
Sometimes we have them, but I think at the end of the day,
It's the food that speaks.
taste triumphs.
Yeah.
And if people like it, we've had people come and say, "Oh, this reminds me of my grandmother's recipe."
Oh, yeah.
And quietly I'm thinking that's not even Sri Lankan. It's something I developed with my Kerala chefs, but that shows you
Yeah.
that their cultures are so similar.
And also, yeah, of course, Kerala food and Sri Lankan food, Sri Lankan Jaffna food have been so interconnected in so many ways. The way we prepare it, the thick gravies, we have always had the similar touch to it. No, I'm going to actually go ahead and fry this fish. We're going to take a break. When we do come back, we're going to be dining and putting this food to test. When we do come back after the break, right here on Danu and Fire.
Some fish?
I do.
You're on a diet?
No, no.
Bringing coals to
Welcome back to the show. This is the time. All right, Karan, what do we have on the table?
Right, so we've got signature fish.
Yeah. So
We've used a sole. We've used a sole fish which I found in the Kolpeti market yesterday.
Okay.
We make a really nice sort of marination with green leaves, shallots. So we slow cook that. It's like a green chutney.
Right. Okay.
Put that over the fish, wrap it up in the banana leaf, and then bake for a little while, and then finish on the pan.
Right.
Which is what I was doing in coconut oil. On top, I've got amberella and raw mango.
Oh,
so we made a
wow.
little sort of slightly cooked melong or sambal,
Okay,
with shallots and all that. What I've tried to do is basically go into the market, find things I've never cooked with before,
And bring that out.
and bring that out.
Okay. How did you like the Kolpeti market?
Loved it.
Yeah,
Loved it. I've been
full
to a
of
bunch
flowers.
of them. I've been to Kurilipone and I've
Yeah.
been to a few of the others. But this is, some people say it's a little contrived because it's all so well organized. But look,
But I
you
love
get
all
what you
markets.
want. And, we found Mukunavena, we found some amazing crabs.
Yeah.
So we've got crabs on.
So this is sea crab, right? Not lagoon
That's the sea crab, the blue one.
I
Yeah.
personally love sea crab more than lagoon crab.
I love the lagoon, but I've eaten 9 of them over the last few days. And we do this dish with sea crabs, so I said, let me try it here.
All right. So
And then speaking of finding things,
Okay, what
this
did
is
you-
something I've got to get you to try.
Right.
You ever seen this before?
No, I actually thought it was areca nut. It looked like an areca nut.
So
like
this
a big
is
fat
something
version of it.
I found 6 years ago when we were traveling around.
Okay.
My driver stopped in Kandy And he said, you want to buy passion fruit? I said, that's not passion fruit, or it's not ripe, or there's something wrong. Bought it, and then
So
actually, I'll let you do it.
Normally,
you
the
want to break
passion
it
fruit will just become all
crinkly,
shriveled.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's all black and stuff, brownish, dark brown. Look at that.
I'm not actually.
Give that to me. Give it to
I
me.
found it,
Give
found
it to me. Just look at that. See, the flesh is completely different.
There you go. Let me see the color.
Filled with flesh. So you're not sort of digging around
Yeah.
and pulling it out. And it's just completely
And it-
different. It's floral, sweet. And I was so excited. I found it
It
in Kolkata
tastes
market
like-
yesterday.
It's like you can actually have this with, like how you get the canned pears and peaches put together. You get a flavor like that in this.
I think it's just that floral,
Yeah.
beautiful flavor. It's nothing like passion fruit.
No,
it's just
it's-
got the crunch and texture.
Yeah. And it looks beautiful.
Interest. Look at that.
It looks
all
like
comes
kasa
out in one
kasa.
bite.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Tell me, what do you think?
It's just sweet.
Exactly. So
How
apparently
come-
they call it sweet passion fruit.
Okay.
And I'm very excited that I've now
You
found,
found it
the
at the
source.
You found it at Copy Market.
Yeah, I've bought 100 and I'm going to distribute them all over to all my friends.
Saying
And
this
be
cover.
very proud that I
Yeah.
have now shown you something that you should have
So
known a
who
long time
uses
ago.
it? I've never. This will taste so good in like cocktails and all.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay, now that we are done.
So
with
let's
that.
start with food now.
Yeah, let's start
With
with
little
food.
amuse-bouche.
So I'm going to just go ahead and serve. I'm going to try
Absolutely.
string hoppers because
Have the fish while it's still hot. Now, what we have there,
this
little
one.
sprats.
Okay.
I've done a little spice mix, which is
that's-
inspired by Kalupol, and then we've got
okay.
coconut vinegar. So you know, in England you have something called salt and vinegar crisps.
Okay.
Very popular. So what we,
You're
tongue-in-cheek
sort of
version of
incorporating
it
that.
when we have events, we do this.
Okay,
So you put
so-
your own salted spice salt,
So
and then
do
just
I
put a
dip-
sprinkling of vinegar. I think it brings it to life. Not literally. There you go.
All right, let's try this. Okay. After all, I fried the fish, so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you don't want to complain to.
Oh,
Interesting,
all
right?
Yeah, it's a different flavor with that.
With the powder on top.
Yeah.
It's a very simple fish. We marinate a little bit of curry powder, but then it's the flavors from that, and it's a
Yeah.
great way to start, I think.
True.
Yeah.
All right. So when you go back, what are you going to take back?
What am I taking back? I've got 4 kinds of rice in
I
my
think you
bag.
should serve something.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
going to
got
serve this fish because it looks really nice.
to it. Go for it.
All right. So tell me.
So I've got about 4 kinds of rice in my bag.
Okay.
Samples to send to our suppliers to tell them to try and match it. I wish I could take some lagoon crabs back, but I'm talking to someone about that.
Okay.
I've got. Can I give you some?
No, I'll take some.
Yeah. I've got. I'm taking tons of this fruit back.
The
I
passion
love durian.
fruit.
I wish I could take some of that.
Oh
back.
my God! It smells.
Absolutely.
They will
love it.
deport you.
I know. I'm
They'll
scared of
also
that.
throw
and that's
you out
what-
of the plane.
No, you do get it, but it's just not as good.
Yeah, they'll just
It's
throw you out of
used-
the plane. They'll be like, get that stink out. But do you like durian?
I absolutely love it. My favorite fruit, hands down.
Have you ever tried other things using durian, like ice cream? Have you tried
So we
credit
used
cream?
to, we used to do a milk hopper at
With
Hoppers
durian?
with a durian ice cream.
Oh.
So we used a little bit of durian paste, which we found
Okay.
since we couldn't get the fresh stuff,
Right.
and made an ice cream. And it was one of those love or hate. It's like Marmite. It's one of those love or hate desserts.
Yeah. Have you tried Marmite?
Yeah,
And
I love it. I
You
love
like
it,
it?
just like I love durian. But I love durian much more.
Okay. Great.
You get some fish?
I took.
You're on a diet.
No.
let's give you
but
some
I'm
more.
Trying. No, I took. That's fine. I just want to try everything and then dig into my favorites. All right. Now, in terms of your time in Sri Lanka, would you ever make a restaurant or bring a restaurant to life here?
It's
No.
like bringing coals to Newcastle, right? We do what we do. The restaurant business is hard enough. There's some great players over here. We know the market over there. It's very important to be in the city your restaurant is in.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
so we aren't yet at a stage. It's very, it's all family run. One of us is always at one of the restaurants. There'll never be more than 3 days, unless I'm traveling,
Yeah.
that I won't be at both the restaurants.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's essential.
So one of the reasons why you guys stopped giving the dessert item is it because not dessert item but the kiri hopper is it because that people were taking more time?
Well, that's a factor, but I think more importantly, it was one of those things that, with Sri Lankan South Indian desserts, they tend to be love or hate, and there isn't a huge range. So we found that let's focus on what we do better. We had one chef in one whole area of the kitchen which was going to desserts. So let's bring that in. Let's expand our menu,
Yeah.
and let's do stuff people are enjoying more.
When you go back, I think you should really bring out kiri hopper with something spicy on it, like kiri hopper and
Sounds
seaweed
interesting.
sambola.
Yeah.
It's,
I'll do it for you when you come.
No, it's out of this world.
When you come in London,
I'll-
need to get some crab.
Oh yeah, cool. But I must say this fish is out of this world. I didn't
Like
even
it?
know. Yeah, that chutney on top.
Sprinkle a little bit more of that lemon if you want.
Oh,
Again, I
just-
think lemon just brings. So I've used first time I've seen these long Sri Lankan lemons, and again brought them along and said, let's try.
And
it.
somebody
Let's
has
give it a
been very kind to give like big piece of umbalakada. You know what umbalakada is?
No.
Moldy fish.
shot. Yeah. So we got the whole bloody fish, and I chopped it up.
It's really good. Big chunky pieces there.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
So first time I saw that, normally we get them in a jar.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to change that and get something a little more exciting. So for the first time, when I asked Regina, I was like, can you get me some moldy fish? Because that's something I forgot to buy. Suddenly she comes back with this massive chunk
like
of fish wrapped up in a newspaper and needed the cleaver to properly chop through it.
It's just out of this world.
Which is excellent, which is how it should be, right?
You just put it into some oil.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
And what do you do with that?
Well, if you are making like the devil version of the po sambolo, yeah, you just sort of temper it in oil first so that it brings out the flavor. We put everything into oil; it just makes it nicer. That's my policy.
While cooking it, you mean?
Yeah, it brings out more crunchy flavors to it. You know, the first time I saw you and your chefs eating crab like that,
How would you eat it?
we eat it we break the flesh out and then eat it.
This is a bloody lollipop, man.
Yeah, that's how
I
you
love
eat
it. I just bite through. I love the shell as well.
I
It
never
gives it a
knew
little
that.
texture.
I never knew you all eat like that.
Otherwise, it's so fiddly and it takes so long.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm too greedy and I'm too impatient.
There you go. All right. Before we wrap things up on the show, just wanted to ask you. You have now come so far in food and you have done so much. Have you ever thought, oh, I studied so much, should I also try keeping that side of my alive in the profession that you chose before?
I think laws. To answer one question, I don't think I'll come that far. We've only begun,
Okay.
right? So you never
How
think
many
that
years
you've
has
gone
it
too
been?
far. I mean, Hoppers has only been open 3 years. And
But it has
irrespective of
been-
the success, I think in your mind you need to feel
Yeah.
it's a new restaurant every single day.
Yeah.
You need to see that restaurant completely empty. And I have seen restaurants in the past that I've been involved with that were empty. So it keeps you down to earth. The minute you start thinking, look, I'm too busy and I'm too cool,
You're gone.
you're gone.
Yeah.
That's to answer your first one. But the second one, I think law is something that you use in all aspects of your life. And I think, like this wonderful country, it's all serendipity. If I hadn't done law, I wouldn't have met the people I met. I wouldn't have been in the place I was.
Yeah.
And it's
understand
it's
the
all
business.
part of a grand plan.
Yeah. And also like to understand the business and to be sharp with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It sort of grooms you as
Yeah.
well. All right. Thank you so very much, Karan.
Not at all. Pleasure.
If somebody wants to follow you, the work that you do, if somebody comes to London, how can they get in touch with you? How do they do it? Because
We've
I'm
got-
sure you give something special for Sri Lankan. So
Absolutely. We give something special for everyone.
Yeah.
And if you're Sri Lankan,
there's a little bit more love there. All right. So how does one find you?
I tend to use, very little social media. Instagram is something I'm on quite a lot.
Alright.
But apart from that, Facebook and things, I'm not. My handle is Karan Cooks. We also got the official Hoppers London handle, which I take over once in a while, or I feed a lot of content to.
Right.
So you want to hear about the restaurant, Hoppers London, or you want to hear about my travels or things I'm doing on the side, cooking at home, not necessarily Sri Lankan all the time. It's Karan Cooks.
Brilliant. All right,
Excellent.
follow him because he has some Sri Lankan food that he has taken to London. There's also a crab curry that's named after
Auntie
Rishini's
Sharika.
mom. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm going to
Rishini's
go and
mom.
I'm very excited about staying the evening with them
All
tomorrow
right.
and cooking with her.
Brilliant. So there's so much of Sri Lanka that is there. So if you're in London, you must try it out because you'll just feel right at home. And it's amazing that somebody from India fell in love with this country and the food so much and brought what is best of India and best of Sri Lanka to create it to the European market and have so many Sri Lankans and Indians also enjoying it there.
Thank you.
Which is great. Thank you so much. Lovely having you. When he comes back
you.
next time, we're going to do some quick recipes and so much more.
100%.
Yeah,
We're going to go exploring all the
we
street
are
food.
just going to have him more on High TV. We will see you soon. Until then, you have yourself a great time. We will catch you with another cool episode to Danu on Fire. It's a wrap.
Thank you.
The night is gone and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see.